All right, so here's a good example of what I was talking about earlier. We've gone and we've made sure that our eave was straight, but in between the truss tails, you've got an 8-foot space and the lumber can get a little wavy. So what we always try to do is have an 1.5 inch reveal on our roof. Now, if I come in here back at the lap, I'm at 1.5 inches. And there's a truss right here, so I know I'm good. But if I come out here, I'm in the middle of this bay, my steel is reading 1 5/8 inches. So what I do is I want that to be 1.5 inches, so I'm gonna tell Greg at the top, pull it back. What he's gonna do is he's gonna pull that steel back, right there, Greg, wait, bring it ahead. So right now I'm at 1.5 inches. I go ahead, and I go ahead and set my screw. Now what that's doing is I've already assured that my string line is straight on all my tails. So by doing this, by moving the steel so that I'm 1.5 inches off my fascia board, once I screw it all off, I will be consistently 1.5 inches, and when I go through my tails, I should be at my 1.5 inches, which means it's gonna straighten out all of those ins and outs throughout the roof. So that's the goal. It doesn't always happen perfectly. We'll see. We'll run the rest of this roof and see how it turns out. So this sheet here, if you look up on the roof, we've got about 21 inches up at the top. So we laid it out so that this would all work out according to plan. So what I've got to do is I'm going to first rip this down. This is our 21 inches, but I'm also going to leave myself 3/4 inch, and I'll use my roller benders, which are sitting there, and I'll roll up a 3/4 inch lip on the edge. That is just in case any water gets over this rib, and you'll see it when we get it up there, but I'll show you how this works. .21 inch mark. Alright, now this is where the fun begins. So you guys have probably seen us use these. We use them a lot out the Jimmy DiResta build. We've randomly used them. These are Versa benders and Steel Dynamics. That doesn't sound right. Dynamic Fasteners is where I bought these. And what these are going to do is you can adjust them all sorts of different ways. We've got them set up for a 3/4 inch bend up. Now the way these things work is they just create a little crease. Now if you can zoom in there, I don't know if you can see that, Greg. Yeah. All I'm doing is I'm just barely putting a slight bend on this. I won't be able to go all the way, but that's okay. Now what I do is I start to give it a little bit more. Because these rollers are offset the way they are and the way all these beads work, it forces this piece of steel to want to roll up. So I'm not really doing much. I'm just giving it a slight pull up as I roll back and forth. So now you can kind of see what we've got here. I always like to take the hand benders and just, it's not 100% necessary because this is going to be buried underneath of our gable trim. But now you can see what we got going on. this is that section that goes up high, and then this is where the different transition is on the lower roof section. And this whole detail right here, I'll show you guys that in a later video when we actually put our ridge cap, our gable trims, our fascia. There's a lot that's gonna happen in this spot, but let's go get this sheet up on the roof. Well, there you go. Just got that sheet up. You can see now what we were talking about. We've got that bend up way over here that protects any water from going into that fascia. It's gonna run everything down and out the steel, and our ridge cap will come across here. That detail will come another day because somehow it's already 4 o'clock and we've still got a lot of roof to put on. Didn't expect this to take this long, and I haven't even been recording much, so maybe the cold, we're getting old.
Ready?
Born.
Bro, are you even strong enough to lift that sheet? You're 35.
You already know the answer.
Is that a little tough for you, man? Need my help? I got you, bro. I got you. Teamwork. You old guys.
So I'm just gonna make sure that this overlap is perfect. Okay, Greg, pull it back. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, right about there. So I already kind of knew that this bay, there was a little bit of an innie on the fascia board. So that's why I kind of saved it for the video, because I knew that this would hopefully show you guys or be a good teaching point as what to do, because I always get that question about how do I keep my steel from having jags in it. Okay, one side of roof is installed, screwed off, and starting to define this thing. So I like it, I love it. I'm gonna throw the drone up in the air and get some more of it.